A few weeks ago, I was playing some Skyrim and having a relaxing time trying out the fishing creation, and I noticed that you can reel in some weapons and armor, which made me wonder if I could beat the game only using these items. And you guys also voted for it, so here we are. Here are the rules. I can only use weapons, armor, or healing items I get from fishing. I'm also not allowed to use a fishing rod as a weapon. Not that you'd want to because it does such little damage, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. Let's get started. When making my character, I tried to recreate the greatest fisherman of all time, Captain McAllister, although he is quite hard to make in Skyrim. After failing miserably at this, I choose to start in Riverwood, head down to the river, grab a fishing rod, and crack open a cold one, kick back and do some fishing. As relaxing as it is, it took a long time to get any useful items. This is because the junk you can get is divided into 3 categories: common, uncommon, and rare. Helmets, boots, and weapons are classified as uncommon, and with the standard fishing rod, I have a 32% chance to catch them. I managed to net myself an iron helmet and an iron war axe. Then after I equipped them, I took off my clothes. Then I went to Embershard Mine to try my luck fishing there. Considering I was level 1 and was only equipped with an iron helmet and an iron war axe, I expected the bandits inside to put up more of a fight. But now I know how my parents feel because they didn't live up to my expectations at all. Neither did the fishing spot, because after spending just over an hour fishing there, I only managed to get a pair of hide boots. So I went to another spot near the standing stones outside Riverwood, which has some NPCs there that like to bend the laws of space and time.
There's enough for all of us if you aren't greedy.
Here I managed to get a pair of iron boots and another iron war axe, and now I'm ready to set off on my journey. At this point I've also got a bunch of fish, which goes without saying. Eating these fish is the only way I'm able to heal though, because for whatever reason you can't get potions from fishing, despite the fact that you constantly reel in empty wine bottles. You also can't cook the fish without salt, which means I'm going to have to eat them raw, as disgusting as that sounds. Another thing you can't get from fishing is chest armor or gloves, so I'm going to be running around half naked like a spy said for the rest of the game. After starting the main quest, I dump all my excess trash inside the Riverwood Trader for Valerius to sell. Why did I do that? Well, there's no point in me selling the stuff since I can't buy anything anyway. Also, I'm not a litterbug. I do have some standards, you know. I head through Bleakfall's Barrow to grab the Dragonstone, and whilst the bandits are easy to deal with, once I got to the Draugr, oh boy. They almost killed me on a few occasions, meaning I had to eat all my fish before I even got to the Dragonclaw door. Then I managed to put the Draugr Overlord back in the ground by applying the age-old technique of using the level up system to heal my wounds. I delivered the Dragonstone to the Wish.com wizard, then I have to fight the dragon at the Watchtower. I have no resistances at all, so fighting the Winged Devil was a chore. I had to keep running off and hiding to get some health back. But that was a pointless strategy as he just baked me like a potato anyway. I managed to whoop his scaly backside on the second try with a quarter of my health left. Then after having a chat with the Gruffalo, I come face to face with the Frost Troll on my way to see the Greybeards. This abominable bastard was a thorn in my side. I knew I would have some trouble with it, but I didn't expect it would be this bad. The damage I do to him is next to nothing. He killed me dozens of times before I finally managed to bop him over the head with my axe, knocking him off the food chain. After speaking with Skyrim celebrity hermits, they sent me off to grab their favourite drinking horn because Arngeir is an alcoholic. Even after putting a few levels into the dual wield and one-handed perks, I was still having a bit of trouble dealing with the Draugr. After finally sending the emaciated arseholes back to Helheim, I pick up Delphine's CV, but before I head to Riverwood to speak with the secretive sassbag, I make a diversion to Winterhold to speak with Septimus, because I need to access Blackreach. The reason I'm going there is because it's one of the few places that lets you reel in some dwarven items with a regular fishing rod. Now there are other places that also allow you to do this that will result in less fatal encounters, but I can also grab the Elder Scroll while I'm there so I don't have to do it later. Getting to Blackreach was an absolute pain in the arse. I died more times than I can count, until I decided to opt for the honourable method of running away like a damn coward. Then I tried many times to jump down to the bottom of this chamber using the buildings. This usually works, but for God knows whatever reason, I didn't take into consideration that I'm normally better leveled and better equipped to survive the fall. It took me a few tries, but eventually I managed to make it down there. I watched a gang of Fulmers brutally murder a dwarven centurion, then made my way to the fishing spot. After catching a dwarven helmet, I also nabbed some enchanted rings. These rings are in the rare category, and are unique so you can only catch them once. Although I can't use these rings as one makes spells cost 10% less to cast and the other increases your pickpocket chance. I get some dwarven boots, then I get a ring that I can use, the Ring of Minor Health. It increases my health by 20 points. By the way, if you're wondering what the ancient ring is, it's from the Moonlight Tales mod that I used for the werewolf video and I never got around to removing it. I reel in a Ring of the Wind, and before you make an assumption, get your mind out the gutter, it makes you move 15% faster. Then I managed to pull a dwarven mace and a Denstagma's ring? I think that's how you pronounce it. Denstagma, yeah. Which was an extremely good find for me as it increases fire, frost and shock resistances by 20%. This is going to help me out a lot when fighting dragons. After pulling that ring, I made a decision to get another dwarven mace so I could dual wield them. Which took so long, by the time I actually managed to get it, I looked like this twat. After this, I grabbed the Elder Scroll, then head over to Riverwood to catch some more fish because I've been guzzling them like they were M&Ms.
Greedy! To eat all that, you'll end up with your gums all grey.
Then I head over to see Delphine, but you can tell she hasn't had company in a while because she instantly starts explaining the entire lore of the blades to me. After that long-winded conversation, me and Delphine go to gank Salakanir, and on the way, this sneaky lizard tries to mug me. So after I pound his skull into a fine dust, when I finally get to the dragon mound, I run straight towards it to get some free hits on him whilst he's still in his animation. But the game was on to me because it launches me across the hill as a consequence. The resistance ring was proving its worth here as he wasn't really doing that much damage to me, especially considering I don't have that much defense in terms of armor. Once the ludicrous lizard is back in the hole from whence he came, I head to Solitude to solid sneak into the Thalmor embassy. When I get there, I watch Rogvir's head fall off.
My day is ruined.
Then I give Malborn all my items, which probably smells like the bedroom of someone that works in the red light district. I head off to the embassy, and when I arrive, I get naked, which, weirdly, no one bats an eye at. Once I grab all my smuggled gear, I enter the main building. I was expecting to get absolutely thrashed in here, but surprisingly, I actually managed to consistently hold my own against the Elven soldiers. Although, to be fair, I did lose quite a lot of health. I grab the dossier on Riften's most paranoid pensioner, then I head there to rescue him from his squatter's den. Like the embassy, the Thalmor inside the Ratway weren't too difficult to deal with. I finally make it to Esbern's man cave,
Hello.
then take him to Delphine. Then we take a field trip to Skyhaven Temple. The Akaviri being long dead is a good thing, because the dude that made the puzzles to prevent people getting into the temple would have been embarrassed to know that an old man wearing nothing but a helmet and a pair of boots just jumped over his security measures. When we get into the temple, Delphine seems to have an existential crisis so powerful it's preventing her from moving. Eventually she gets over it, then I jump up to the throat of the world and read the Elder Scroll at the Time Fissure to learn Dragonrend. Alduin shows up to fight me because apparently it's a no-no word, and I managed to get his health down to half before he almost killed me, and I had to hide behind the shout wall to regain some health. Then I accidentally managed to use Dragonrend on both Alduin and Parthenax and realised that they just start biting and breathing fire on each other when you do. So I kept using it on both of them and watched as Parthenax chomped his health down. Then after Alduin rage quits, I gather all the highest ranking people in Skyrim to High Hrothgar so we can bully Tullius about his balding problem. He's not balding, you say? Well, I firmly believe that this is actually a toupee and this conspiracy needs to be brought to light. Unfortunately, that may never happen, as the leading man in uncovering the greatest kept secrets in video games is now retired. Then I apply a Pokemon method of capturing a powerful beast and forcing it to do my bidding. When I get to Skuldafn, shit hits the proverbial fan. The second I arrive, I run straight to the temple, but all the enemies from outside follow me in, which resulted in me having my torso cleaved open. At this point, I just ran past them, because I knew I'd be able to run straight into Sovngarde once I got outside anyway. When I do eventually get there, I spend the next 20 minutes getting thrown around like a ragdoll by the Skyrim equivalent of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Eventually I managed to beat his test of strength by running straight up to him and staggering him with a power attack, then spamming the shit out of him until he tapped out. Then Sword Nord, Axe Nord, and not wearing any underwear under that thing Nord helped me clear the fog so we can destroy Alduin once and for all. As usual, Alduin was an absolute pushover because he just stood there as we just ganked him to death. And now that Skyrim is free from this scaly succubus, Captain McAllister returns to Riverwood to go back to his peaceful life as a fisherman. And with that, I beat Skyrim with only fishing loot. This was a bizarre playthrough, as I would go from having a nice relaxing time doing some fishing to absolute chaos. but Skyrim never ceases to surprise me with the diversity of how many different ways you can beat it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our little romp into the world of Tamriel Fishing Simulator, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot if you do, plus you won't miss out on any more juicy content from yours truly. If you have any suggestions for future videos, or you just want to say hi and have a chat, drop a comment down below. And I'll see you next time.